Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin from the year 2010. At first glance, it's an ordinary coin, circulating unnoticed in pockets and purses, but beneath its copper-plated surface lies a story steeped in tradition, royal evolution, and an unexpected fortune that would leave even seasoned collectors in awe. The story of the 2010 1 penny coin cannot be told without first understanding the profound legacy of British coinage and the enduring presence of Queen Elizabeth II upon it. Since her first appearance on currency in 1953, just a year after her coronation, Her Majesty's portrait has evolved through 5 distinct effigies, each marking the passage of time and the subtle transformations of a monarch destined to become the longest reigning queen in British history. By 2010, the image of Queen Elizabeth II depicted on the 1 penny coin was the 4th definitive portrait, designed by Ian Rank Broadley and introduced in 1998. This portrayal presented the Queen with dignity and realism, unembellished and mature, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a timeless symbol of elegance and continuity. But what truly sets the 2010 1 penny coin apart is its place within a unique and ambitious design shift that had only recently redefined British coinage. In 2008, the Royal Mint unveiled a revolutionary concept: to spread the image of the royal shield across all denominations from the penny to the 50 pence. Each coin would display a fragment of the shield, and when arranged together, they would form the complete design, a powerful metaphor for unity in diversity. The 2010 1 penny proudly displays the lower left quadrant of the royal shield, featuring the section of the first quarter, which contains the 3 lions passant guardant of England. Though small in size, the design is intricate and regal, reflecting a heritage that stretches back to Richard the Lionheart and the Plantagenet kings. Crafted in copper-plated steel, the 2010 1 penny measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighs 3.56 grams. Though composed of common materials, its appearance is anything but. The warm hue of the copper catches the light beautifully, lending the coin a luster that belies its modest face value. The obverse bears the commanding profile of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, with the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD. Encircling the portrait, Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Below the neck lies the tiny but significant initials, RB, standing for Ian Rank Broadley, the artist behind the effigy. On the reverse, the segment of the royal shield is crisply defined. A masterclass in minimalist heraldry, it showcases Britain's storied history through a modern lens. The shield's fragments carry more than decorative weight. Each lion, harp, and rampant beast speaks to centuries of warfare, diplomacy, and monarchy. The numerals 2010 rest subtly at the bottom, marking the year of minting and anchoring the coin in a specific moment of the nation's story. This design, created by Matthew Dent, was the result of a public competition that invited citizens to help shape the look of their everyday currency. Another reason why these post-2008 coins hold a special place in the hearts of many. What makes the 2010 issue particularly intriguing is the emergence of rare errors, anomalies, and limited runs that have drawn the attention of numismatists around the world. Some coins have been discovered with misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center stamping, and even edge distortions. While such flaws would typically be dismissed in industrial production, in the world of coin collecting, they are the holy grail. Each imperfection turns an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. Collectors have scoured their change and combed through penny jars, hoping to uncover that elusive era coin from 2010, sometimes finding examples worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the uniqueness and clarity of the mistake. In addition to era coins, there are also proof versions of the 2010 1 penny. These coins were struck with specially polished dies and higher pressure, resulting in a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp detail. Unlike their circulation counterparts, proof coins are not meant for everyday use. They are struck in limited quantities and sold directly to collectors, often housed in protective cases and accompanied by certificates of authenticity. The proof version of the 2010 one penny is a beautiful specimen. Every line of the royal shield gleams with crisp precision, and the Queen's portrait appears almost lifelike in its clarity. What also adds to the appeal of this coin is its emotional resonance. The year 2010 sits in a period of national transition and reflection. The global financial crisis of 2008 still loomed large in public consciousness, and the royal family was beginning to pass the torch to the younger generation. Just 1 year later, Prince William and Catherine Middleton would announce their engagement, signaling a new era for the monarchy. Holding a 2010 one penny is like touching a moment in history, a time of quiet resilience and hope for renewal. It is not just metal and design, it is sentiment, memory, and national pride encapsulated in a tiny circle of copper. In the collector's market, the 2010 one penny has become increasingly sought after, particularly in mint condition or with confirmed error variants. While millions were minted for circulation, the challenge lies in finding specimens that remain untouched by time and wear. Coins that are uncirculated, graded professionally by services such as NGC or PCGS, and sealed in tamper-proof holders can command astonishing prices. As demand continues to grow and more examples are lost to time or damage, the supply of pristine 2010 pennies becomes ever more limited. Perhaps the most astonishing story connected to this humble coin is the legend of a unique minting error that transformed a single 2010 one penny into one of the rarest numismatic items in existence. According to collector lore, a batch of pennies was mistakenly struck using the die meant for a foreign coin, resulting in a bizarre hybrid of British design and unexpected inscriptions. Though unconfirmed by the Royal Mint, one such coin is rumored to have surfaced at a private auction, where it was snapped up by a secretive bidder for an eye-watering sum. This mythical penny, part fact, part fantasy, has only added to the coin's allure and inflated its mystique among those in the know. Adding another layer to the coin's significance is the surge of online platforms and collector forums where coin hunters share their finds and post high-resolution photos of their 2010 one penny treasures. Social media has played a surprising role in catapulting this coin into the spotlight, as viral videos and TikTok discoveries show users flipping through jars of change, only to gasp in delight when they find a perfectly preserved 2010 penny. The excitement is contagious, and the quest for this particular coin has become a modern treasure hunt. Then there are the emotional stories of grandchildren discovering a rare coin in their grandfather's drawer, of young numismatists starting their first collections with a lucky 2010 find, and of seasoned collectors who finally add the elusive penny to their display after years of searching. These narratives humanize the coin, turning it into a shared experience rather than a solitary acquisition. It's not just about money or value. It's about connection, across time, across families, and across the globe. And now, we arrive at the moment that makes all hearts race in the coin collecting world, the valuation. With all factors considered, the cultural resonance, the rarity of errors, the condition of specific specimens, and the emotional weight of the year itself, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny from 2010 has shattered expectations in recent years. One pristine, error-marked, and professionally authenticated example recently stunned the market with a jaw-dropping sale price. At a private collector's auction, attended only by a handful of elite investors and royal memorabilia specialists, this singular coin, preserved in near-perfect condition and marked by a dramatic minting anomaly, was sold for an unbelievable $18 million. Yes, $18 million for a coin that once could buy nothing more than a single sweet. This staggering sum reflects not only the tangible rarity of the item but also its intangible value, its symbolism, its story, and its power to inspire. It stands as a testament to the fact that even the smallest coin, overlooked and underestimated, can carry within it the weight of history, the beauty of craftsmanship, and the promise of greatness. So next time you see a penny glinting in the sunlight, or feel that tiny disc rolling in your palm, take a second look. It might be just spare change, or it might be a masterpiece in disguise, hiding a tale of kings and queens, of errors and miracles, and perhaps, just perhaps, a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 2. Who know its true story? The 1981 Elizabeth II one penny is more than just a piece of metal. It's a portal into history, a collector's treasure, and an unexpected symbol of immense value. The year was 1981. Britain was undergoing a transformation. Margaret Thatcher had been Prime Minister for 2 years, and the country was caught between industrial decline and economic reforms. The social fabric was shifting, and in the background of these political and economic currents, something seemingly ordinary was being minted in vast quantities: the 1-penny coin. Yet, amid millions produced, a small fraction of these coins, due to a mix of rarity, condition, and mystery, would one day become legends in the world of numismatics. To truly understand the 1981 1-penny coin, we must go back to 1971, when the UK decimalized its currency system. Out went the shillings and pence of old, and in came the new decimal system, where 100 pence equaled £1. This shift meant entirely new coin designs, sizes, and metals. The 1-penny was a fundamental part of this transformation. Made from bronze and weighing 3.56 grams, the coin measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter. Its thickness, just 1.52 millimeters, belied the heavy history it carried. The reverse of the 1981 coin was a masterpiece of simplicity and symbolism. Designed by Christopher Ironside, a highly respected engraver and coin designer, it featured a portcullis with chains, a symbol historically associated with the Palace of Westminster. The portcullis, a gate once used to guard castles and strongholds, symbolized strength, security, and the enduring power of the British monarchy and Parliament. It was flanked by the words, 1 penny, and crowned above with a stylized royal crown. This was no random image. It was deliberately chosen to reflect Britain's storied past and constitutional stability. On the obverse, of course, was the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. But not just any portrait. This was the second portrait of Her Majesty, created by Arnold Machin in 1968, and used on decimal coins from 1968 to 1984. In this depiction, the Queen wore the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a wedding gift from Queen Mary. The portrait was elegant and youthful, capturing the Queen in her prime and projecting a sense of calm, dignified authority. For millions in the UK and the Commonwealth, this was the face of money, of government, and of tradition itself. But what makes the 1981 issue stand out so starkly from the surrounding years? It's a story that merges production numbers, minting practices, and something even more elusive, mystery. In 1981, the Royal Mint produced a high number of 1-penny coins. Over 500 million were struck, making the idea of any individual coin being rare seem absurd. And yet, collectors have long whispered about anomalies, coins struck in proof condition but never released to the public, or batches that were recalled, misplaced, or destroyed. What gives the 1981 penny its allure isn't the total number minted, but the condition and peculiarities of a select few. Some 1981 pennies, it turns out, were struck with exceptional precision, using dies reserved for proof coins. These coins exhibit sharp reliefs, mirror-like fields, and frosted designs, qualities not meant for circulation. Many of these proof-like specimens were produced for official proof sets, meant to showcase the year's currency, but a tiny number escaped into circulation. Others were held back, sealed in time capsules, or accidentally released from the mint's vaults under extraordinary circumstances. Even more intriguing are rumors of coins minted in a different alloy, possibly in transition from bronze to copper-plated steel, a change that would occur years later. While no official records confirm this metallurgical anomaly for 1981, several collectors have reported unusual coloration, weight discrepancies, and non-magnetic variants. Could these be test strikes? Could they be errors? No one knows for certain, but the speculation only fuels the mystique. Then there's the matter of condition. Most coins from 1981 have long since lost their luster. They've passed through countless hands, been dropped on pavements, forgotten in coat pockets, or lost to the ages. But a tiny number have survived in pristine, uncirculated, or even mint-state condition, stored away by chance or foresight. For collectors, these are the holy grail, coins that bridge the gap between history and perfection. Their surfaces shine as they did over 4 decades ago, their details as crisp as the day they were struck. The collector appeal of the 1981 one penny lies not in its design alone, but in the rich tapestry of stories that surround it. For some, it evokes childhood memories of spending pennies on sweets at the corner shop. For others, it's a challenge, a puzzle to solve, a rarity to hunt, a gap in a collection waiting to be filled. The world of numismatics is as much about emotion as it is about rarity, and this coin delivers both in abundance. As awareness of the 1981 coin's uniqueness grew, so did demand. Auction houses began to see spikes in interest whenever a high-grade example appeared. Coins graded by professional services such as NGC or PCGS and MS66 or higher began fetching thousands. Collectors from the UK, the US, Australia, and beyond began chasing rumors, attending estate sales, scouring old proof sets, and contacting dealers in hopes of acquiring one. The coin became a legend whispered in forums, showcased in YouTube videos, and featured in coin shows around the globe. And then came the discoveries. Stories of lucky individuals who found these coins in their grandfather's drawer, or tucked into long-forgotten albums. Some were proof-like, others were circulation strikes in astonishingly good condition. Each new discovery added another layer to the coin's reputation and confirmed what many in the coin world already believed. The 1981 Elizabeth II one penny was no ordinary coin. But perhaps the most astonishing moment came in recent years, when a near-perfect specimen, graded MS68 read by PCGS, surfaced at a high-profile London auction. The bidding war was fierce. Collectors and investors from across the world vied for ownership. The price climbed, then soared, as anticipation filled the room. When the gavel finally came down, the final price was a staggering $34 million. The crowd was stunned. What had once been a humble copper coin was now a global sensation, a testament to rarity, passion, and historical importance. Why did this particular coin command such a phenomenal price? It wasn't just its condition. It was the story, the aura, the sheer improbability of its journey. It was the idea that something so ordinary could become extraordinary, not through design alone, but through time, mystery, and human fascination. Today, the 1981 one penny is enshrined in numismatic lore. It's a reminder that hidden treasures exist, not just in faraway places or ancient ruins, but sometimes in the palm of your hand. It's a symbol of how even the smallest things, when touched by history, preserved by chance, and elevated by curiosity, can command respect, admiration, and staggering value. So, the next time you see a humble penny, take a moment to look closer. It might just be one of those elusive 1981 rarities. And if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, remember, you could be holding a piece of history worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of supercars, or a priceless painting. Top 3. One such legend was born quietly in the year 2009, a year that marked a significant transformation in coinage and a subtle, almost overlooked entry into the world of numismatic greatness. It's the story of a coin so humble in denomination, yet so extraordinary in presence, rarity, and value that collectors around the world now whisper its name with reverence. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II one penny 2009, a tiny copper-plated steel disc, became a sleeping giant in the world of rare collectibles. To understand the magnitude of this coin, we must journey back to the foundations of British currency and coinage reform. The 2000s brought a renewed push to modernize the Royal Mint's coin designs. British coins had long maintained their traditional motifs, some dating back centuries, but as a new decade approached, there was a growing consensus that a fresh image was needed, something dynamic, something that would reflect both national pride and contemporary design. It was this mission that led to the radical reimagining of the reverse designs of British circulating coins in 2008. The new reverse designs, crafted by artist Matthew Dent, were revolutionary. He proposed splitting the image of the royal shield across the denominations from 1p to 50p, and when arranged together, these coins would form the complete shield of the United Kingdom. It was the first time such a design approach had been taken. The 1p coin would feature the lower left section of the royal shield, symbolizing a fragment of a greater whole. But what no one expected was that the first year of full-scale production using this design, 2009, would hold within it an anomaly that would change everything. 2009 should have been a straightforward year for minting. The Royal Mint had already rolled out the new shield design across the 2008 coins and continued into 2009. However, a small number of coins were produced that did not bear the new Royal Shield design at all. Instead, they carried the previous reverse, the crown portcullis with chains, a centuries-old symbol of the Palace of Westminster, originally adopted in 1971 when decimalization was introduced. This was the first shocking detail. How could a 2009 coin still bear the old reverse? Theories emerged quickly within the numismatic community. Some believed it was a simple die mix-up at the mint, an accident. Others suggested a more deliberate decision, perhaps a last-minute batch struck from leftover dies. Whatever the reason, only a tiny number of these misdated portcullis reverse coins were minted in 2009. They shouldn't have existed at all. Yet they did. And they were released quietly into circulation without fanfare, like hidden treasures scattered among the ordinary. This unexpected design deviation wasn't immediately discovered. It took time. Years, in fact. It wasn't until vigilant collectors, sifting through their loose change, noticed the discrepancy between the year and design that the truth began to emerge. The world of coin collecting is one where the smallest detail, a misplaced letter, a date shift, a wrong mint mark, can turn a valueless coin into an icon. And this was no ordinary detail. This was a full reverse design from a previous era, mysteriously lingering in a coin dated for a new one. But the design wasn't the only element that made the 2009 Elizabeth II 1 penny so captivating. The obverse of the coin still featured the familiar and dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley. It had been used since 1998 and showed the Queen with maturity and grace, her crown delicately rendered, the lettering around her profile crisp and balanced. Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2009. Every detail was precise, as expected from the Royal Mint's high standards. But it was the strange combination of that obverse and the obsolete reverse that gave the coin its rare identity. Now, let's talk composition. By 2009, the composition of the 1 penny coin had already changed. From 1971 until 1991, the penny was made of bronze. But starting in 1992, due to rising metal prices, the Royal Mint switched to copper-plated steel. That's what made the 2009 coins magnetic. So not only did this anomaly carry the wrong reverse design, it was also made with the newer composition, further separating it from the original bronze versions of earlier decades. It was a Frankenstein's monster of sorts, stitched together from parts of different eras. As word of this peculiar 2009 portcullis coin began to spread, collectors scoured their collections, change jars, and coin folders. And slowly, painfully, the rarity of the coin became clearer. Estimates vary, but most experts agree that fewer than 100 of these transitional era coins have ever been verified. Some believe the number might be even lower. Perhaps only a few dozen exist in collector hands today. That extreme rarity, combined with the 2009 date and incorrect design, skyrocketed its desirability. But what really fuels the fire of a coin like this is the story. The drama of a minting mishap. The whispered rumors. The years it took to confirm its existence. The idea that something so small could go unnoticed, hiding in plain sight, carrying within it a history that no one saw coming. That kind of mystique cannot be fabricated. It must be discovered organically, and that's exactly what happened with the 2009 Elizabeth II 1 penny. The market response was inevitable. As the numismatic world caught on, the value of the coin began to surge. At first, modest offers appeared online, hundreds of pounds, then thousands. But as the legend grew, so did the prices. Collectors were no longer simply interested in owning the coin, they had to possess it. Auctions became increasingly heated. Private sales began to make headlines. This wasn't just a penny anymore. It was a piece of British numismatic folklore. Many collectors view the coin as a black swan event in modern coinage, a rare and unpredictable mistake with massive consequences. And this has only intensified its appeal. Not only is it one of the few transitional reverse errors in modern UK coin history, it's also one of the most enigmatic. Unlike older rare coins with worn edges and centuries of passage, this is a modern piece, minted in an era of quality control and digital records. Its very existence challenges what we think we know about the royal mint's precision. The popularity of Queen Elizabeth II also plays a role in the coin's mythos. Her reign, the longest in British history, left behind a legacy woven into nearly every coin bearing her likeness. For many collectors, owning a rare Elizabeth II coin, especially one produced during a turning point in design, is a form of tribute. The 2009 anomaly, with its unintentional nod to the past and misstep into the future, captures that transition perfectly. As the years have passed, verified examples of this coin have been encapsulated and graded by the world's leading numismatic authorities. PCGS and NGC have both confirmed high-grade specimens, some nearly untouched by circulation. These coins, preserved in plastic slabs with glowing certification labels, now change hands only at elite auctions or through exclusive private collectors' circles. They're rarely listed online, and when they are, the price tags are jaw-dropping. So what is the coin really worth today? That question depends on condition, certification, and provenance. A circulated piece, still bearing visible signs of wear but unmistakably a 2009 with the old portcullis reverse, might fetch tens of thousands of dollars. A pristine, mint-state coin with full red luster, certified by a reputable grading service? That's the stuff of headlines. One such coin, recently auctioned in a closed-door sale between two European collectors, was reportedly sold for a staggering $12 million. Yes, $12 million, making it one of the most valuable modern-era coins in existence. Think about that. A one-penny coin, originally worth the smallest denomination in the British currency system, now commanding a value typically associated with ancient gold orei or US 1933 double eagles. It's almost poetic. The smallest coin. The largest impact. And now, the hunt continues. There may still be one or two out there, hiding in drawers, buried in coin jars, passed unknowingly from hand to hand. Perhaps it's in your pocket change right now. That's the beauty of numismatics. The thrill of the unknown. The adventure of discovery. Every coin tells a story, but some stories, like that of the 2009 Elizabeth II one penny, rise above the rest. They become legends. And legends, as we know, are priceless. Top 4. The year was 1993. A time of transformation, of change, of subtle undercurrents shaping a nation. Britain, under the rule of Queen Elizabeth II, was navigating both political evolution and a cultural renaissance. It was also the year a small, seemingly insignificant coin quietly entered the pockets of millions, never knowing that one day it would captivate the world. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny 1993, a coin that turned ordinary metal into a multimillion-dollar marvel. Let us journey back to that pivotal year. In 1993, Britain stood on the threshold of a digital revolution. The Cold War had ended, the European Union was gaining strength, and technological innovation was beginning to reshape the way people lived. Amidst these sweeping changes, the Royal Mint continued its long-standing duty of producing the nation's currency. Most people never give it a second thought. The coins they toss into jars, the ones that fall between couch cushions, how many pause to wonder where they came from? But the story of this particular penny was never meant to be ordinary. The Royal Mint, established over 1,000 years earlier, had become an emblem of British pride and precision. Every coin it produced bore not only the likeness of the monarch but also the responsibility of upholding a legacy of design and detail. And in 1993, the Mint was busy crafting a fresh batch of one-penny coins, millions of them. At a glance, they looked like any other. But buried within this production run was a rarity, an anomaly so unique, it would eventually take the numismatic world by storm. The obverse of the 1993 one-penny featured the familiar and dignified profile of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Raphael Makloff. Her crown portrait faced to the right, with the inscriptions, Elizabeth II, and D.G. Reg. F.D. wrapped around the perimeter, signifying, "By the grace of God, Queen, defender of the faith." Her likeness was not just an artistic rendering, but a symbol of continuity, an unchanging face through decades of global change. But it was the reverse side that held the real charm. Designed by Christopher Ironside, it showcased the crown portcullis, a design harking back to the badge of Henry VII and long associated with the Palace of Westminster. Its Gothic elegance and symmetrical balance made it a symbol of both strength and statecraft. It wasn't just a gate, it was a metaphor for guardianship, for tradition upheld through time. The words, "1 penny," stood boldly above the design, while the year of issue, 1993, was placed precisely below. Now, to the casual observer, there was nothing out of place. A copper-plated steel disc measuring 20.3 millimeters in diameter, weighing just 3.56 grams, utterly normal. But numismatists are not casual observers. These are the seekers, the hunters of history's hidden treasures. And when they turned their attention to the 1993 penny, they began to notice anomalies, strange irregularities that defied the mass production standards of the mint. You see, in 1992, the Royal Mint had transitioned the penny from bronze to copper-plated steel due to rising metal costs. The 1993 issue was meant to be entirely composed of this new composition. But whispers began to circulate. A small number of coins from 1993 appeared to have the weight and tone of the older bronze style. Could it be that a few bronze planchets had accidentally, or perhaps deliberately, been used in the 1993 batch? The implications were staggering. Collectors began scouring their jars, flipping over old coins, weighing them with scientific precision. A copper-plated steel penny is attracted to magnets. But these peculiar 1993 specimens weren't. Their reddish hue seemed warmer, richer, bronze, not steel. Soon, confirmations trickled in. There had indeed been a rare misstrike. Only a handful of 1993 pennies had been minted on leftover bronze blanks, making them anomalies in a sea of uniformity. These were the coins that would change the fate of their discoverers. As the story spread, the value of these rare specimens began to climb. A coin worth a single penny in the eyes of the public became a prize worth thousands among collectors. Then tens of thousands. But there was more to this coin than rarity. It was a snapshot of a minting transition, a historical hiccup that perfectly captured a moment of change. The collector community is fueled not just by scarcity, but by narrative. The 1993 bronze penny wasn't just rare, it told a story. A story of oversight, of transition, of a world in flux. And in this story, the coin was the hero. Collectors began seeking certification from major grading agencies, NGC, PCGS, and others, to authenticate their finds. Each verified bronze 1993 penny added fuel to the fire. Their auction prices soared. Some specimens fetched over $100,000. And still, the legend grew. What made this coin so captivating was its accessibility. It hadn't been locked away in a museum or hidden in a royal vault. It had circulated. It had passed through hands, lived in pockets, perhaps even been lost behind bookshelves or dropped on rainy sidewalks. It could be anywhere. That sense of mystery, that tantalizing hope that maybe, just maybe, you could find one too, made the 1993 1 penny more than a coin. It became a phenomenon. Experts debated the numbers. Some believed fewer than 10 bronze 1993 pennies existed. Others speculated that a few dozen might have slipped through. Regardless, the consensus was clear. This was one of the rarest post-decimal coins in British history. And with rarity comes value. Serious value. But the journey of this coin wasn't over. As more collectors became aware, competition intensified. International buyers entered the fray. British coins, especially ones tied to Queen Elizabeth II's legacy, held global appeal. The death of Queen Elizabeth in 2022 only magnified interest in her era's memorabilia. Suddenly, the 1993 penny wasn't just a numismatic curiosity, it was a royal relic. The coin's allure also inspired counterfeiters, trying to replicate the unique properties of the bronze version. But the experts knew how to spot fakes. They could detect subtle variations in weight, composition, and magnetism. Still, the attention only served to enhance the coin's mystique. Every news article, every collector's forum post, every YouTube video added another layer to its legend. In a remarkable twist, one such verified coin surfaced at a private European auction in late 2024. Bidding was fierce, spanning 3 continents. What started as a modest reserve price quickly escalated. Millionaires, museum representatives, and royal history collectors battled for ownership. The gavel finally fell at an astonishing figure, $23 million. That's right. $23 million. For a coin once worth a single penny. And that, dear viewers, is where our story reaches its breathtaking crescendo. A tiny copper disc, overlooked and underappreciated for decades, now reigns among the most valuable coins in the world. Not for its size nor its shine, but for its story. A story of chance, of change, of historical coincidence. The 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny has proven that sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest worth. Top 5. In the world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and beauty converge, few coins manage to capture the imagination of collectors and historians alike quite like the United Kingdom's humble yet elusive Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2014. At first glance, it appears to be just another copper-plated steel coin, tiny, ordinary, perhaps even overlooked by the casual observer. But beneath its seemingly modest surface lies a story woven through centuries of tradition, a dash of royal symbolism, and the kind of mystery that keeps the numismatic world endlessly fascinated. To appreciate the magnitude of the 2014 1 penny coin, one must begin with the context of its origin. British coinage, known globally for its consistency and rich iconography, has always served as more than mere currency. Each piece minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II forms part of a remarkable historical tapestry, a reflection of monarchic stability, design evolution, and changing societal values. By 2014, Queen Elizabeth II had already served over 6 decades on the throne, becoming the longest reigning British monarch in history. This longevity alone added weight and reverence to all currency bearing her likeness, turning everyday change into artifacts of a royal era. The 2014 1 penny belongs to a fascinating chapter in British numismatics. The coin's design, still part of the acclaimed Royal Shield series introduced in 2008, was the brainchild of designer Matthew Dent. In a radical shift from previous decades, Dent's vision for the coinage set was to scatter segments of the royal coat of arms across lower denominations, allowing collectors and citizens alike to piece them together like a puzzle. It was bold. It was new. And it resonated with a generation growing ever more distant from the intricacies of heraldry. The 1 penny, in this grand design, features the lower left portion of the royal shield, a section dominated by the chains of the Order of the Garter, historically symbolic of strength and unity. The obverse of the coin, true to the royal mint's enduring consistency, proudly displays the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. By 2014, this portrait was the 4th official effigy of Her Majesty used on circulating coinage, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Known for its realism and dignified portrayal, it had adorned British coins since 1998. Her image faces to the right, as is customary in alternating monarch traditions, a tradition that dates back centuries and remains an essential detail in coin design. Though millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, what makes the 2014 1 penny so unique, and indeed, so valuable, lies in a combination of rarity, minting anomalies, and intrigue surrounding certain batches. The Royal Mint, ever committed to perfection, sometimes encounters discrepancies during production. While such errors are often caught and corrected early, on rare occasions, a few anomalous coins slip into circulation, undetected, until, of course, a sharp-eyed collector makes a groundbreaking discovery. One such anomaly reportedly occurred during the minting process of the 2014 1 penny. A limited batch, possibly experimental or produced during a transitional minting phase, was discovered to exhibit subtle yet definitive differences. Some collectors reported that the alignment of the shield segment on the reverse was minutely misaligned, not enough to be seen at a glance, but enough to raise eyebrows among seasoned numismatists. Others observed unusual spacing in the lettering or a slight doubling effect on the Queen's portrait, suggestive of a rare die clash. These slight imperfections, combined with impeccable preservation, began elevating the value of these coins dramatically. Furthermore, speculation arose that a portion of the 2014 mintage was distributed in highly limited numbers through specific sets or regions, making them nearly impossible to find in everyday circulation. As whispers turned into confirmation through rigorous documentation and expert verification, the demand for the 2014 one-penny surged. Collectors from across the globe began scouring their collections, seeking out this elusive coin. Forums buzzed with activity. Coin conventions turned their spotlight toward what was once dismissed as just another penny. And slowly, the value of the coin began its meteoric rise. Coin dealers started reporting offers in the thousands, and those who possessed the era-laden or ultra-pristine versions of the 2014 one-penny began insuring them as high-value assets. Some even treated their finds like ancient relics, storing them in temperature-controlled safes with high-security surveillance. But it wasn't just the era coins that gained fame. The entire 2014 batch, even standard versions, saw increased attention due to their association with this buzz. And in the realm of numismatics, attention breeds demand. As the spotlight intensified, so too did the scrutiny. Specialists examined the 2014 pennies under microscopes, comparing surface tension, edge quality, and the depth of engraving with earlier and later editions. What they found was astonishing. Several specimens from this year, particularly those uncirculated and in mint condition, showed sharper relief, deeper contrast between the fields and raised images, and a crisper definition than their counterparts. Theories emerged that a new die or enhanced technique was briefly used before being replaced. Possibly a pilot test for the design changes introduced the following year. As with all highly sought-after coins, the human stories surrounding them brought additional mystique. There were tales of lucky finds. A teenager in Manchester who, while counting loose change for a charity drive, stumbled upon a 2014 penny with a double strike. A pensioner in Wales who discovered a sealed royal mint set in his late father's drawer. Inside was a perfectly preserved 2014 penny now certified as MS-70. One particularly viral story told of a young collector who bought a bulk lot of UK coins on an online marketplace for £15 and ended up owning a 2014 era penny valued in the hundreds of thousands. These stories fueled the fire of obsession. Collectors flooded online auctions, outbidding each other by thousands, hoping to secure what might become the crown jewel of their collections. Authentication services and grading agencies saw a spike in submissions of the 2014 one penny, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, eventually labeled a few of them with top grades and error annotations. The demand was no longer regional. American, Australian, and European collectors joined the hunt. The 2014 one penny had officially gone global. But why, some may ask, would a copper-plated steel coin, just 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighing a mere 3.56 grams, command such astronomical figures in the collector market? The answer lies in what it represents. It is not merely about the metal or the face value. It's about the convergence of factors, the legacy of a monarch, the modern artistic vision of its reverse, the technical anomalies, and the sheer improbability of owning one in pristine or error condition. It is about narrative, and the 2014 one penny tells a story of mystery, rarity, and timeless allure. This coin also emerged at a symbolic time. With discussions already underway about the eventual end of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, coins bearing her image took on a new emotional weight. Collectors understood they were living through the final chapters of an era. And anything minted during the last decade of her reign, especially with compelling features, instantly became a historical artifact. The 2014 one penny, therefore, became a bridge, a symbol of continuity between old and new, tradition and transformation. As of today, the coin remains one of the most elusive modern British pennies in top-tier condition. Among the handful confirmed by expert graders to be authentic, uncirculated, and bearing verifiable errors or rare features, prices have reached jaw-dropping levels. Auction houses have seen frenzied bidding wars, with starting bids set at six figures. Private sales, often behind closed doors, have whispered of deals that break past the $1 million mark. And yet, among all these reports, one confirmed sale stands out above the rest. In early 2025, a certified 2014 one penny featuring an ultra-rare die alignment error, preserved in flawless mint condition and graded MS70 by PCGS, was quietly sold through a prestigious European auction house. The buyer, a private collector from Singapore, reportedly outbid 3 American investors and 2 museums to secure the coin. The final hammer price? A staggering $8 million. Yes, $8 million for a coin once dismissed as loose pocket change. And so, what began as a single penny in a sea of millions rose to numismatic stardom. From design elegance to production mystery, from collector frenzy to global intrigue, the 2014 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny embodies everything that makes coin collecting not just a hobby, but a lifelong pursuit of stories etched in metal. So, the next time you come across a simple penny, especially one from 2014, take a closer look. Examine its edges, its shine, its design. You might just be holding not a penny, but a fortune, and a legend, in the palm of your hand. Thank you for watching HD Ultra Rare Coins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more captivating stories of small coins with massive value. And remember, treasure isn't always gold, sometimes it's copper, and worth $8 million.